Okay, I like to, now since we're on Facebook Live, I like to invite everybody to the church. You know, we have Sunday morning, Tyler teaches Sunday school, and he does a really good job. He studies. It's interesting. He don't just go, all right, read a verse and then go, and anybody got something to say about it and read the next one, go, I mean, he puts time in it. That's why I'm very, very happy to have him here. And church supposed to start at 10, sometimes people come in late, so if you're planning on coming, you pull up, there ain't many cars here, just give it a few minutes, they'll get here, because we don't cancel church too much. And then at 11 o'clock we start the worship service, and we like to invite everybody to that. And if you're a musician, look for a place to play. We need musicians. It's been a long time, just me and Gary, and the kids will come up and play congos and sing sometimes with us. But I like to invite musicians. If anybody's looking for a place to play, church to go to. And Wednesday nights we have Gary, who what we call faith theater. He does characters, and the kids love it. He's a rock star that gets here on Wednesdays. They come up to him and they won't hardly leave him alone. But not only the kids like it, adults like it. And I see the adults liking it better than the kids do. I can't wait Wednesday night to come see what kind of character he has. You know, it just excites me to death. But and Thursday nights we have food, and then we have a teaching. Tyler and Sean takes turns, and that's awesome night. It's probably our best attendances on Thursday nights. And you know, I've had people tell me, well, you know, a lot of my friends won't come to church because they just won't feel welcome. You'll be welcome here. This is why we started this church, because we want people here. We're not trying to be just a little closed few people and just block everybody out. We're open door. We want people to come. And coming up, we have a few pavilions rented out to have a picnic / service. You know, kids can come play on the playground. We're going to have food, and then we're going to have singing, and I'll probably end it with preaching, and you know, it'll be a good time. It's going to be under a pavilion, so it's open air, safer. And I've got 2 of them booked. I got April the 20th in Morristown, March 20th Morristown, April the 17th in Bean Station. I'm going to try to get April the 3rd for Rogersville, so that's something we're going to be inviting people to. It'll be a good time. It's a good time. But I'm going to go ahead and get to Revelation 14 now. And I'll go ahead and start this to help everybody. This helped me so much to understand Revelation. I've listened to so many people teach it. A lot of people just really don't have a clue. I'm not saying I get everything right. I ain't trying to be prideful or nothing, but it makes sense. And what helped me the most was somebody told me this first 4 chapters is about 7 churches of Asia, 2,000 something years ago. And then we got a tribulation, and then a rapture, and then the wrath's poured out. And then chapter 12, it kind of starts all over again. And then it parallels, like 13 parallels to 6, and 14 parallels to 7, 8, whatever. And then we go to Battle Armageddon, then 1,000-year reign, Gog and Magog, Judgment, New Jerusalem. And if you understand it starts all over at 12, then it makes so much more sense. And I've got, like my Bible study, one of my favorite commentaries teaches that there's 5 raptures. You know, and I'm like, no, there's not 5 raptures. And you can read Matthew 24, Mark 13, Luke 21, and it all parallels perfectly with Revelations. And I put a lot of time in the Bible. If I run into a problem, I know there's a problem. He's okay, guys. He's okay. And so if I run into a problem, I know there's a problem. And it's with me, not the Bible. So I had to adjust my brain to the Bible so the Bible makes sense. Bible makes sense to me. Now, I can't sit there and tell you, I can't answer 100% of questions people ask me, but I can read the New Testament and it's smooth. It's not confusing. It's not hard. Man has made it confusing. And now it takes some work and some study to learn things, but that's why God set it up that way, so we spend time in it. Okay, I'm going to say now, I looked, and lo, a lamb stood on the Mount Zion, and with him 144,000, having his Father's name written on their forehead. Now, chapter 7, we read about these 144,000. And right before the wrath is poured out, the angel said, don't hurt the 144,000 till they have the seal of God on their forehead. They're getting ready to, as we're out of here, while we get raptured, these 144,000 are going to come down. And they're going to be preaching to people, do not take the mark of the beast. Because even though the Antichrist has done been putting the saints through tribulation and killing them, and then we're raptured out of here, there's still going to be people that's not going to be taking the mark of the beast, because it says that's what they're going to be preaching. Do not take the mark of the beast. And I know one thing, like when I'm going out talking to people out and about, the sinners are more awake to the Antichrist coming. The sinners are more awake to the mark of the beast than the church people is. He's okay. He's okay. Pay attention to me if you don't mind. I'm getting known. Somebody said I'm the known guy that calls down kids. We have a lot of kids here. They don't hate me. They like me. They're at my house all the time. I ain't going to tell you what people say about you. You can preach about it. But still, preachers, James, what would happen if kids get out of line when you was growing up as a kid? Even when I was growing up, they'd knock your teeth out. Yeah, I mean, we had a Hot Wheel and a songbook, and we got to do that right there. And boy, if we interrupted, got up, we got smacked in the face. And we'd hear preachers calling down kids, and we was like, I can't imagine a kid acting up, And then nowadays, and I don't have no problem with kids bounce off the walls and just go wild, but kids are different now than they used to be. Yeah, I watched the old video of Big Kill, and all of us kids are sitting there just like statues. I'm like, boy, kids don't sit like that today. So, but there is such things as church conduct, though. When people just come in here and people want to learn and everything. But anyway, and with them 144,000 having his father's name written on their forehead. Now that father's name is their protection, because it's getting ready to be wrath poured on the earth. And these guys will be walking around. That right there is going to be their protection from what's coming on the world's people. The people have missed it. There is such a thing as left behind. Now, it ain't going to be left behind for the Antichrist. It's going to be left behind after the Antichrist. Beware of commercial Christianity. I've been one second on them. Okay, and then back in Revelation 7, it talks about the 144,000. So this is Revelation 7, verse 2. And I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living God, and he cried with a loud voice to the four angels, to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea, saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants for God on their foreheads. And I heard the number of them which were sealed, and there were sealed 144,000 of all the tribes of the children of Israel. And just to make clear, John's day, when John wrote that, the tribes were gone. They were scattered. Nobody knew what tribe they were. When it says it's 144,000 from the tribes of children of Israel, it says that they're with the angels right during this. They're not people on the earth that got saved during the tribulation. This is people that was pulled out of children of the tribes. Now here teachers try to say, well, one tribe, Reuben, might be Poland area, and the tribe of Asher will be like the Middle East, and that is crazy. It's not what the Bible teaches. And it teaches, okay, let's put it this way. What if there was a door right here? It said, okay, one of these make-believe, what the 144,000 are, is like say, all right, the Mormons say it's them. The Jehovah's Witnesses say it's them. The Seventh-day Adventists said 144,000 is them. Okay, so, you got a door right here. And behind that door is like $1 billion. And it says that 144,000 are not the tribe of the children of Israel. And then you got another door that's got $1 billion, and it says they're literally from the ancient tribes of the children of Israel. Which one would you pick? And I believe your chances would be a lot better to pick the door that the 144,000 come from the ancient tribes of the children of Israel, because that's what it says. Okay? And I heard a voice from heaven as the voice of many waters. Everybody ever been to Niagara Falls? It's kind of relaxing. It's loud, but it's relaxing. It sounds pretty cool. Very cool place. The Canadian side's better than the American side. And a voice of a great thunder. And I heard a voice of harpers harping with their harps. And they sung as a new song before the throne and before the four beasts and the elders. And no man can learn it but the 144,000. See, they're in heaven. They're the redeemed saints from the Old Testament. And everybody, everybody. I mean, it's like 90% of people teach that it's the Jews that, all the Christians are going to be raptured out of here, that all the Jews are going to get saved, and then they're the 144,000. Well, DNA tests prove that most of the Jews today are not even Hebrew, so they can't be that. And but anyway, they're from, and it said they were redeemed from earth, and trying to find 144 virgin males that are Jewish is almost impossible. But not if you go back from the time of Isaac and Jacob. Jacob had the kids, the 12 patriarchs, whatever. From that time till Jesus' day, well, to the time of Babylon, so most of the tribes got dispersed. It'd be easy to get 12,000 each tribe. But today, finding 144,000 men that are virgin and all that, it's almost impossible. These are they which were not defiled with women. So that's one qualification. I can tell you the commentary I read, it said, well, women could be part of the 144,000. They're not defiled with women. I believe that's men. So it's 144,000 Jewish men. The world's going to get pretty rough. God's going to send the preachers from heaven to earth. Now listen, we're all coming back to earth. The 1,000-year reign, we all come back to earth. So that's not an impossible belief. But they have to be men that's not defiled with women. I don't think God's going to send women to earth as a woman when the wrath is being poured out. You don't send your women out to battle. You send your men out to battle when things get rough, because our bodies are a little bit stronger and everything. For they are virgins. So that's qualification number 2. Could not tell you the commentary that says that they don't have to be virgins. Like I said, there's a door. 1, they don't have to be virgins. Door 2, they have to be virgins. $1 billion behind each door. Which one you going to take? I'm going to take the one that they have to be male virgins. And these are they which follow the Lamb wherever he goeth. These were redeemed among men, first fruits, unto God and to the Lamb. So they're with Jesus right now. Jesus ain't on the earth during the wrath and tribulation. They're his entourage. They're the good saints from the Old Testament are being rewarded for how they lived. I tell you, there's benefits to being dedicated to Christianity and to Christ. And I've lived Christianity 100 different ways. I've been hot, cold, pumped, backslid, sold out all the way, and it's always better sold out. There's always benefits to be more dedicated. You look at the disciples, the ones that was more into it, got more privileges. Like Peter, James, and John got to see Moses and Elijah in the Mount Transfiguration. Well, where's the rest of them at? There was 3 that was really dedicated. John followed Jesus all the way to the cross, and he got to write Revelation, the book of John. He lived longer. He got to die of natural death. And there's benefits to really being serious with God and being strong in your Christianity. And their mouth was found no guile, for they are without fault before the throne of God. I've read commentary, it said that that don't mean that they wasn't sinful or whatever. I'm telling you guys, Revelation would be easy if somebody was stranded on an island, never read a Bible before, in a jail cell, and you just hand them the Bible and say, here, read it. And all they had to do was read the Bible. They'd understand the Revelation so much easier before they get in all the commentaries and stuff. I'm not totally against commentaries. I use them. But when it says that their mouth was found no guile, don't say that they had guile in their mouth. They don't make any sense. And I mean top multi-millionaire, big names, books you buy at Walmart, saying, that don't mean that they had no guile in their mouth. They could be sinning every day. We sin every day. Again, that's another phrase that's not in the Bible. And I saw their angel fly in the midst of heaven, having the everlasting gospel to preach to them that dwell on earth, and to every nation, and to every kindred, every tongue, and to people. See, God is still getting ready to pour out his wrath, but there's still people that has a chance. He still gives everybody a chance. Thank God God's not so strict that we mess up one time and he just beats us down, throws us away. No, he's trying. He's trying to win us before it's all over with. And it's just like Ezra, he gets in trouble all the time. I don't disown him just because he gets in trouble. I'll never disown him. I don't care if he kills everybody I know. I'll always be his dad. I'll always care for him. God is still, even though the wrath is getting poured out. Now, if you get the mark of the beast, the Bible is clear. You get the mark of the beast, you're done. You've lost your soul. You've lost everything. And it's going to be great pressure for people to take that. But because of people like this church, people like us, warning people, if you take the mark of the beast, you're going to go to hell. Even sinners that don't want anything to do with church right now, when the rapture happens and the wrath comes, they're still going to have enough sense not to take it. But as things get really, really bad, you don't get no hospitaling, you don't get no food, you don't get no medicine, you don't get no doctors unless you take the mark. The pressure is going to get harder and harder and harder for them to say no. So God is sending these 144,000 to give them, hey, don't take it, don't take it. Say with a loud voice, fear God and give glory to him, for the hour of his judgment is come. And worship him that made heaven and earth and the sea and the fountains of the waters. So I heard a guy say that he invited somebody. I went to the bridge this weekend to a men's conference. And this guy said he invited somebody to come. And that guy said, man, I don't see no evidence of God. So I don't see no reason to go to church. He said, I'm not coming. He said, there's no evidence that God even exists. He said, come here, man. He said, let me take you outside. And he pointed to the mountains, the skies, the water, the river, everything. And he said, you telling me? He said, how did this get here? The guy nobody's got a good answer. They say, well, it just popped and banged and popped and everything. I kind of like the creation story better. To me, it makes a lot more sense. And so they're kind of using that to back them up. Hey, everybody, there is a God. He made all this. Let's give glory to him. And there followed another angel saying, Babylon is fallen, that great city, because she made all the nations drink of the wine to wrath for fornication. I'll get Babylon, I'm going to get into that a little bit later. I'll just touch on it today. What always gave me trouble about Babylon's the city. Now, I think it's 2 Peter 5, or 1 Peter 5. Peter calls Rome Babylon, Rome. But Rome can definitely fall as the whore of Babylon or whatever. But all nations are not getting rich by her and all that. And but I don't know, there's a little bit of problems with just calling Rome Babylon. Definitely Rome's got something to do, the Vatican, all that's got something to do with the end times. But what always bothered me is that city is fallen, that great city. Because I'm like, man, what city would fall under that category? There's a lot of wicked cities. New York, there's cities in China, it's kind of wicked and everything. Los Angeles. But you read later in Revelation that the New Jerusalem is called a city, and it's like 15,000 miles square, or 1,500 miles square. So I'm like, okay, and it's called a city, and it covers up 1,500 miles. So I believe it's safe to say a city is just a big spirit unit, intertwined and all that. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receives his mark in his forehead or in his hand. Remember, I've said this many times. The new translations all say on. When they were made, most of them, they had no clue that there'd be technology that requires being in. If you don't have no hand, there's a lot of people that lost their arms in car wrecks and stuff. Where's it going to go? It have to go in your forehead. They have invisible tattoos. I'm not saying it is a microchip, but very good chance it will be. Bill Gates made he quit right before this happened. He stepped down. But Microsoft has a sensor for a new currency that's numbered 060606, and it builds currency on people's movements, which is smart, which is brilliant, which is perfect. But there's going to be one bad problem, because our dollar right now it has nothing to stand on. It's just kind of make-believe that it's worth something. So this would definitely, if the dollar crashes, that's all right, we got to do a reset. but you have to have a tracker. And your wealth is going to be built on people's movement. I think Hitler did something similar. He didn't have microchips or nothing to build currency with Germany and economy with right there. But there's going to be something, a religious system. And Elon Musk has talked about like the AI. He said, man, about all the elites are into AI. And you'll see they're gathering places. They'll have statues or like cyborgs or half human, half men. And they believe that they want to make man obsolete. All of them are eugenicists. All of them want to kill people off. That's why I don't trust them. And they all talk about merging man with machines. And machines doing the work and everything. And that is their religion. And I've heard one guy, I can't remember his name, he says, I'll kill everybody that gets in my way. So this is what's going to happen. And I'll kill anybody that gets in my way of this happening. And that's what the elite believe. They're too good for Christianity. Remember the Beatles, and they got popular in the 50s, 60s, whatever. They was too good for Christianity. They was too famous, too popular. So they went over there and got into yoga or whatever. And they brought it back here, and it started like the hippie movements and the free love and the sex. And that went from that into homosexuality. And then it went to just plumb pure immoral. And then as it kind of fizzled out, they brought back yoga and women's exercise and all that. But anyway, it's going to be lined up with religion. And the same shall drink the wine of the wrath of God, which is poured out without mixture in the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. You know, some of these false cults, the Mormons, the Jehovah's Witnesses, the Seventh-day Adventists and all that, they'll try to teach you, hey, in hell you'll be burned up. And if they don't teach that you'll be burned up and just never exist anymore, they teach, well, hell is a place where the presence of God is not there. Look, it said it's going to be in the presence of the Lamb. And I didn't know this, but then their smoke, their torment, send it up forever and ever, forever and ever. And everybody said, well, that don't mean, it just means that people were, that's memory. That's not, people actually seen it. It says, no, the same scriptures it talks about heaven being forever and ever relates to this being heaven, being lasting forever and ever. And see how important it is to spread the gospel. See how important it is to keep the church movement going. See how important it is to evangelize. Because there's only two places to go. There's heaven and hell, and that's it. There's no in between. We're in between right now. And this is kind of what's the purpose in life? Your purpose in life is to serve God. What are we here for? We're here to see which way we're going to go. As we read the Bible, God made heaven before without having a place to go first, and a third of them rebelled. You can't have heaven with rebellion. You can't have heaven full of people that sin and don't care. You can't have a heaven when people don't love God, don't get saved, and don't serve Jesus. That ain't heaven. And I'm going to preach tonight. It's something Revelation 15's only got 8 verses. So I'm going to preach why God's going to pour his wrath out. I tell you, I'm not saying that I never sin. I'm not saying I'm sinless perfection. We strive for that. Jesus tells us to sin not. It tells us to be perfect, actually, is what Jesus said. That's his words, not mine. And we're supposed to strive. Jesus set the bar. He was a sinless person. No man on earth will ever be sinless. But we are to try to strive to be sinless. But as I'm sanctified, and the more I'm sanctified, and the holier I get, I see how much trouble sin brought me. I see how much sin has brought this world. I see how my sin brought trouble on other people. And that's why it's important that we listen to God and take his word. And quit listening to these turkey birds that are teaching that we sin every day and God don't care if we sin and you can sin to whatever you want to, still make it to heaven. That does not line up with the Bible. Those guys are not reading scriptures. They hear this from somebody and they pass it on. They parrot things. But the Bible teaches we are to be holy. And I've heard preachers, famous preachers, millionaires, they sell their books at Walmart, tell you you can still take the mark of the beast and go to heaven. That is not what the Bible teaches. The Bible teaches you take the mark of the beast, you will be damned. And it's an insane, crazy time that nobody wants to talk about this in their church. But we'll talk about it here. Because I don't want nobody under the sound of my voice. And let me tell you something. Even people under the sound of my voice when it comes down to it, when you have no food, when you have no water, when you look how pampered and spoiled we are. Used to, you had to go to the library if you want to research. You had to go with them file cards and look all day, and you'll find the book. You might find what you get looking for, you might not. Now you just Google it in 2 seconds, it pops up. Our songs this morning, which I like it, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Our songs we sung this morning, it told you when to say the letter and how fast to say it and how slow. Used to, you had to learn music. You had to spend years learning to read music. Now, it just plays the music for you, and it goes real slow or fast, and it lets you know how to pronounce. That's great. I love it. There's not one thing wrong with that. But see how easy we got it. But what happens when we're pampered and we're soft and we're not as strong as the people before us? And then things get bad. Then things get hard. We're not going to be so tough. And tribulation means pressure. And then when people start getting killed and dying, you got a choice, die or take this. I'm telling you, we better get our minds right. But I didn't know this until some people, when I had a thrift store here, some Seventh-day Adventists come in trying to convert me to their religion or whatever. And they said, will you watch some videos? If we give you some videos. I said, I guess I'm here all day. I'll watch it anyway. So, and they gave me a video. And I didn't know this was in. It said Seventh-day Adventists don't believe in hell. They don't believe in eternal hell or nothing like that. They believe you just burn up and go on. So a guy brought this scripture out trying to debunk it. Is actually working against him. I actually didn't know it was in there until he showed me this. But it says, this is in the last chapter. Okay, this is in Isaiah 66. I've got to put that. This is Isaiah 66, the last chapter of Isaiah. And this is the last few verses of Isaiah. And there's more to it, but I just try to cut it short for time. For as the new heavens and new earth which I will make shall remain before me, saith the Lord. So your seed and your name remain. And it shall come to pass that from one new moon to another, from one Sabbath to another, so all flesh come to worship me, saith the Lord. And Tyler, that's after the 1,000-year reign. Because we're talking today, do they see people in hell during the 1,000-year reign? They don't. And they shall go forth and look upon the carcasses of the men that have transgressed against me, for their worm dieth not. Jesus quoted that, talking about eternal hell. Neither shall their fire be quenched. And they talked about that. They're getting that reference from the last chapter of Isaiah. And they shall be abhorrent to all flesh. People for eternity is going to be able to see people burning in hell. Oh, there's a rebellion the first time. Good chance there won't be no more rebellions in heaven, because you start thinking, man, I'm pretty influential. I think I could get some people to help me rebel against God. And you look down and see people burning and say, nope, I don't want that fate. But that's what Revelation said too. They said the smoke and before the presence of the Lord forever and ever. People in hell. Now, I'm not saying if you got kids in hell or mom, father, that you'll know that. I'm not saying you'll know people, your friends and stuff. You'll say, oh man, there's my friend Bob. Oh, he went to hell, and you had to sit there and watch Bob burn. I'm not saying that, but I am saying that you will see souls and people in hell. But man, thank God I made it. If you're on your way to heaven, thank God you're not on your way to hell. See, we got work to do. Sports are fun, they're pastime. Not really nothing wrong with it, but you got to think about it. It's people trying to put a ball in a basket. It's people trying to run a ball across the line. It's not that important. The news and everything, politics is important. It has a difference. Gas being $2 a gallon, $4 a gallon. It is important, but this is far more important, because this has to do with people's souls in eternity. I don't want my kids going to hell for eternity. I gave birth to them, or gave life to them. I don't want them to end up going to hell for eternity because I was too lazy to take up with them and teach them the things of God and to serve God. Here's the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of God and the faith of Jesus. It does not say, here's the patience of the saint. Here are they that live however they want to, sin every day and all that. It says, keep the commandments of God and the faith of Jesus. And I heard a voice from heaven saying to me, right, blessed are the dead which die in the Lord from henceforth. Yea, saith the Spirit, that they may rest of their labors, and their works do follow them. And I looked, and behold, a white cloud. Upon a cloud said to the Son of Man, having on his head a golden crown, in his hand a sharp sickle. Now we're getting ready to read into the rapture. And another angel came out of the temple, crying with a loud voice to him that sat on the cloud, Dust in thy sickle and reap, for the time is come for thee to reap, for the harvest of the earth is ripe. Now, rapture just happens one time, guys. There's not like 10 raptures or 5 or whatever. Matthew 24 talks about after tribulation, then you'll see the Son of Man, and then we're harvested. Everybody talks about the Grim Reaper and stuff. The Grim Reaper don't look like that. The Grim Reaper is the angel coming to get the saints. That's where they get the Grim Reaper from, so the Revelation. It don't look like Spooky Man there. And he that sat on the cloud thrust his sickle on the earth, and the earth was reaped. I want to be in that. You know, we're sowing seeds right now for that day, for people to be harvested that's still alive during Christ has come back. You know, that's why we're into this. That's why we do this. And let me tell you a little something real quick. I know my time's up. I give my life to Christ. Despite what anybody says about me or thinks about me or however I come across, I have 100% peace. There's nothing in my mind bugging me right now. There's nothing in my spirit bugging me right now. And I know it can even get better the more I dedicate myself. I'm trying to get myself more dedicated. And the Bible says the Lord give you peace if you keep your mind on Him. And perfect peace, it said, and that's true. Thank God I don't have no health problems either. I don't have no aches or pains or health problems. I give 100% glory to God for that, nothing I did. And there are benefits to living for God because you got a job to do. God will reward you if you do your job. He will provide for you. God has provided for me. I said, there's no way in the world I can make a living doing what I'm doing, and I've done it for over 5 years. I live like a king compared to the money, I make. And that's God's provision. God, you don't believe in God, atheists say, well, I don't see nothing. You try living for Him, boy, you'll see it. I see God's provision, His peace, and His joy. I'm telling you, I weighed about 205 pounds. I've been down to 120 before because of anxiety. Was I living for God and I had anxiety? Absolutely not. That's why I had anxiety. It's His chastisement. I was 80-something pounds lighter than I am now. There's benefits to living sold out for God. Another angel came out of the fire, the altar had power over fire, and cried with a loud cry to him that had a sharp sickle, saying, Thrust the sharp sickle, and gather the clusters of vine of the earth, for her grapes are fully ripe. And the angel thrust his sickle in the earth, and gathered the vine of the earth, and cast it in a great winepress of the wrath of God. And the winepress was trodden without the city, and blood came out of the winepress, even to the horse bridles, by the space of 1,600 furlongs. I have no clue how long it is. I'll have to look at it. But anyway, it's as an example. God ain't going to make a big wine press and then throw everybody to eat it and stomp on them. That's a spiritual example. But He is going to pour out His wrath. There is going to be a lot of people killed. There is going to be blood everywhere. It's going to be gruesome. And I'm going to get into tonight why God pours out His wrath and why man deserves it. People go to hell, they deserve it. It's hard for our sin or us in our sin nature to realize that. But tonight I'll be teaching on chapter 15. You go ahead and turn me off.